So this video today is going to be about obtaining services dishonestly, which is under Section 11 of the Fraud Act 2006. So starting with the actus reus, it has several parts to it under several parts of the particular section. First of all, we have Section 11.1, which requires obtaining services by a dishonest act. The clue's in the name of the offence on this one. Also, Section 11.2, this needs to be done so on the basis that payment will be made and without such payment being made either in part or in full. So, unlike some of the other sections we've looked at, blackmail and fraud Section 2, those services must actually be obtained. And quite often in your exam, both Section 2 and Section 11 needs to be discussed. Quite often you can have both with the same situation. So for example, obtaining a fake ID to obtain services could be Section 2, a false representation, and also Section 11, obtaining services dishonestly. But the key thing will come down to whether the actual service is obtained. So the mens rea, we require dishonesty. This isn't defined under the Fraud Act, but like everything else, we're looking at the gauche test. There is the requirement that knowledge that payment is expected for that service, and also an intent not to pay, or at least not to pay in full. So let's have a look at a quick scenario just on the mens rea first off. This is the scenario. I want you to have a think in a moment about the mens rea. You should stop the video and have a look back through the notes that you've made and see what you think. So this is your scenario. You leave a restaurant thinking that your friend has paid for your meal, but actually they didn't. So stop the video now and have a think. So the answer. In this case, there is no offence. Even though there is the intention not to pay, the rest of the mens rea isn't satisfied. Dishonesty is unlikely to be proven using the gauche test, as the ordinary and honest person would not see the act as dishonest. And also the defendant believes that payment has or will be made by somebody else, so there's no knowledge that payment is expected. So although there is an intention not to pay, they're not dishonest, and there is the belief that payment has or will be made by someone else. So there's no knowledge that payment is expected. So finally, you can use all of your knowledge of the actus reus and mens rea of the offence to have a think about this scenario. Again, I'd like you to stop the video and have a look through your notes and have a go at writing an answer. The offence is pretty straightforward, it's pretty self-explanatory, and there's no tricky case law to deal with apart from the gauche test. So make sure that you've gone through each element of the actus reus and mens rea and try and come up with an answer to this scenario. So Jamie finds a gym membership in the street and uses it to gain entry to the gym. Stop the video now and have a go. So the answer to the scenario about Jamie. Jamie has obtained a service by using the gym. By using the gym equipment, entering the premises, that's obtaining a service. And he is likely to be seen as dishonest using the gauche test, as he knows that he has no right to use the membership, and would be aware that his behaviour would be regarded as dishonest by the standards of the reasonable and honest people. He also knows that using the gym is something that should have been paid for, and he intends not to pay. Even though he has not shown any false pass or deceived anyone, he is still guilty of the offence of obtaining services dishonestly under Section 11 of the Fraud Act. So that's it for Section 11. Make sure that you've gone through the actus reus and mens rea and you understand how they all fit together, and that's another one in the bank.